Ethan Crow believed in numbers more than people. Numbers didn't lie. Numbers didn't cry. Numbers didn't beg for second chances. From the 42nd floor of Novatech's glass tower, Ethan watched the city pulse beneath him like a living circuit board. Streets glowing, data flowing, lives reduced to patterns. At 38, he was the celebrated CEO who had revolutionized fairness in global finance. His creation, Aegis, was an artificial intelligence system designed to assess loan applications with what he proudly called pure neutrality. No human bias, no emotional decisions, just data. Banks loved it, investors worshipped it, governments endorsed it. And Ethan Crow slept well at night. Or at least, he thought he did. Dr. Lena Morales did not believe in neutrality without scrutiny. She had grown up watching her parents, immigrants with spotless work records and relentless discipline, be denied opportunities they clearly deserved. Not once, but repeatedly. The rejection letters were always polite, always vague. Insufficient credit profile. Risk factors unclear. Never a reason that could be argued against. Now, at 27, Lena was an ethics researcher contracted by Novatech to evaluate Aegis for international deployment. Her job officially was to ensure compliance. Unofficially, she knew she had been hired to rubber stamp a miracle. Still, she ran the audits no one else bothered to do. And what she found made her hands shake. Aegis didn't use race, or names, or addresses. It didn't need to. Instead, it relied on proxies, employment gaps, zip code-based income predictions, education source weighting, familial financial history. Individually harmless, together devastating. Applicants from marginalized communities were being denied loans at 3 times the rate of others with identical financial strength. The algorithm wasn't neutral. It was surgical. Lena requested a meeting. Ethan barely glanced up when she entered his office, fingers gliding across a holographic display. "You have 10 minutes. Make it efficient." "I'll try to make it human," Lena replied. That made him look up. She laid out the data calmly, professionally. Charts, simulations, controlled comparisons. She didn't accuse, she demonstrated. When she finished, silence stretched between them. Finally, Ethan leaned back. "So, you're suggesting we dismantle the most successful financial AI ever built because society is uncomfortable with statistics?" "I'm suggesting," Lena said evenly, "that your system is quietly replicating discrimination while hiding behind math. It doesn't know race. It knows consequence." Ethan stood, pacing. "If people from certain backgrounds default more often." "They don't," Lena cut in. "Not when given equal access. Your own suppressed datasets prove that. You excluded them. For accuracy. For comfort." His jaw tightened. "You're emotional. I'm ethical." He dismissed her findings as interpretive risk and ended the meeting. That night, Aegis approved loans worth billions and denied thousands of futures. Lena didn't leak the data. She didn't go to the media. Instead, she went deeper. She traced decision pathways, reconstructed datasets, and uncovered internal memos recommending the exclusion of statistically volatile demographics. She found Ethan's signature on the final approval. When she presented the full report to the board, panic erupted. This wasn't just bias, this was liability. The board demanded damage control. Lawyers prepared settlements. PR teams drafted apologies. Ethan expected Lena to recommend shutting Aegis down. She didn't. She looked at him across the boardroom table and said, "I won't destroy what you built. I'll force you to face it." Her proposal was radical. Aegis would be rebuilt, not as a black box, but as a transparent system. Every denial would be included a human-readable explanation. Every weighted factor would be visible, challengeable, correctable. More than that, a human consequence panel would be established. Real people, real stories. Applicants affected by the system would review edge cases, override decisions, and feed lived experience back into the model. Efficiency would drop, profits would slow, share prices would tremble. Ethan called it sabotage. Lena called it responsibility. The board sided with survival, and Ethan Crow lost absolute control of his creation. For the first time in years, Ethan sat in a room without glass walls. Across from him sat a single mother whose loan application had been denied twice by Aegis, a former factory worker retraining in software, a retired teacher supporting grandchildren. They weren't angry, they were tired. Each story chipped away at the certainty Ethan had built his empire on. He saw patterns, but not the kind he was used to. These weren't inefficiencies. They were lives paused mid-sentence. Late one evening, Ethan stayed alone in the lab watching the new version of Aegis process an application. This time, it hesitated, flagging uncertainty, requesting human review. It wasn't clean, it wasn't fast, but it was honest. For the first time, the system admitted, "I don't know." Ethan realized something terrifying. Perfection was never the goal. Control had been. Months passed, Novatech lost some clients. Others stayed, drawn by trust rather than speed. Regulators took interest. Universities studied the model. Communities once excluded began accessing capital and repaying it. Lena declined a promotion. Ethan offered her a partnership. She accepted, with conditions. One evening, as the city lights flickered below, Ethan asked her if technology can ever be fair. Lena considered the question. "No," she said, "but people can be accountable." He nodded. For the first time, not as a CEO, but as a human being standing inside the consequences of his own creation.